Hello friends, we're in Corel Paintshop Pro X6 today, and I want to show you how I created a painted photo background with adjustable color that would be similar to what a professional photographer would use for a background. On my screen I have the picture of a young boy. What we used for the background for this photograph, we were just playing around, and this was a very soft off-white cream colored throw blanket, really is all it was, with some natural lighting coming through a window. But in the background that we created, I'm going to switch to that picture. We had cut out the boy and we placed him on this painted background that is similar to a photographer background. Here's another color variation, a little bit of gray there. So we had gray and then we have blue and then the original. But I want to show you basically how we create that background. So what you want to do is go to File in Paintshop Pro, and I'm waiting for it to make a decision. There it is. We're going to click New, and in the new image window that opens up, you want to make your selection an 8 by 10, the resolution 72. You need this to be a raster background. Your color depth should automatically be an RGB 8-bit channel. Make sure transparent is checked. All right, and click OK. All right, now the next thing we want to do is make sure in our color panels that they are set to default. So click the little box to make sure that black is your foreground. Go over here to the Flood Fill tool, and let's pour that pure black into our screen. Very good. All right. From there, we want to go and click on our paintbrush. Now, our paintbrush should be set at 180, our size. Now, let me make sure that you are on the default. We want the default size, okay? We do want our size, and it reset my numbers, so we'll fix that. We want our size of the brush set at about 180. See if we can make that move a little faster. All right, 180. We want the hardness at about 15 for this project. The step can be 10. The density we want to be at 25. There we go. Leave the thickness at 100, rotation 0, and opacity at 100. All right, we should be good. Now, again, over to our color panel, let's select kind of a light gray for the foreground color. That should be fine right about there. All right. Now notice how big our brush is, and this is exactly what we want. We want to simply splatter our screen very lightly, leaving some dark areas. Just leave it blotchy. And every time you do this, you understand it'll be a little different, but that's fine. You don't want every portrait to be the same. All right, let's go with that. All right, over in our effects, we want to go to Art Media, Effects, slide over to Brush Strokes. In the Brush Strokes panel, we want to make sure that we leave our softness at 20 and brush bristles 160, width is fine at 5, and opacity is 50. Over here in the strokes, this is where we want to make sure that your brush strokes are 10, the length is 10, and the density is 5. I like the angle to be about 204, which is slanted to the bottom left, and we're still on a light gray color, so we're okay. Click OK there, and you see you get a brush stroke painted background, but it's still a little bit too harsh. So we're going to add one more effect to it. Go down to the texture effects and go to, of all things, go to fur. So we're going to soften this quite a bit. We want the blur to be 20, the density to be 10, the length 15, and transparency at 50, and click OK. All right, it's beginning to soften up now, and you can begin to see, but it's not real pretty. It's just kind of a black and gray. So now, over in your Layers panel, go down to the new adjustment layer. So let's click on that, and we want to add a hue, saturation, lightness adjustment layer. When this window pops open, the first thing I recommend, check the box where it says colorize. Go ahead and bring saturation up to a very high level. About 90 is fine for the moment. You're going to play with these sliders anyway. Now, move this colorization, and notice in your panel up here, notice the change that begins to happen. You can choose a color that works for the colors in your portrait that you're working with. And the nice thing about it is setting this adjustment layer is you can always come back to it again later and readjust it. I'm going to select OK, and you see that my whole screen has adjusted to that color. But what if I decide, oh, I don't like that color? Let me double click on my hue saturation layer again. Now, let's play again. You know what? I want to lighten it just a little, so let's bring it up a little lighter. Now go our colors again. Now look at your main screen is showing you the colors, and that works so great. If you have a portrait of a person in a certain color that you need to kind of coordinate the colors or just give something that really makes that portrait pop, you now have the ability to do it. Here again, you can control your saturation. You might want to bring it down a little bit. So pretty much that's how you do it. And you go ahead and click OK. And you can save as. I recommend saving it in whatever. I put mine in my backgrounds folder. And a lot of times I will simply name it background. And give it either a number or for whatever project I'm working on, or the subject background for young boy, whatever. Really doesn't matter, because you can come back. I'm not going to save it this time. You can come back and adjust it for any portrait that you want to do. So anyway, that's basically how it works. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you find it useful. I hope you'll give my project a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching today.